Hello everybody, Dokkan Assets here. Today we are back with another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle animation analysis video, or should I say Dragon Ball animation analysis video, because of course we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Golden Week Tech Goku. Oh man, I'm so excited, dude. These are two characters, Goku and Piccolo, that I have been waiting to be added to the game for a very long time. I know that a lot of people have also been waiting for this particular celebration. I'm glad that they are finally here, and they definitely did a very good job with these animations. We are going to hop into it here, of course, watch it one time through before we watch it in the slow speed, and then we will break it down. So let's go ahead and hop in here. Couple things before we get started. For one, as per usual, as I like to mention, I'm by no means a animation professional. I'm not an animator or anything like that. I do these videos for fun. I look at Dokkan animations all day, so I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of what makes a Dokkan animation look pretty good. But nonetheless, the only other thing that I got for you, besides, well, actually, I guess they're in fine order this time. Piccolo's animations were in a little bit of a weird order when it came to the actual order of the essays in the video, but I think Goku's are in a somewhat normal order here. However, the other thing that I want to mention is, unfortunately, even though I am filming these videos a little bit late, I was just very busy when these essays dropped. Unfortunately, we don't have the side-by-side for these. However, I think it will be fine because I feel like we don't need it as much, and it is definitely clear that the source material, I feel like, shines through with the Dokkan animations here. As well, we will actually have a little bit technically less to look at in this video compared to the Piccolo video, because two of these animations in here are Piccolo animations because it's supposed to be, right, obviously Goku's Negate, and then, of course, we have here, right, the revival skill, which is pretty cool. This shot, by the way, absolutely incredible. I'm definitely going to be excited to talk about all of this stuff here in a minute. I am so in love with these units, I'm not going to lie. I've been really looking forward to these, and I'm so glad that they did such a good job with these two. Alright, so we have now the intro animation for Goku. First of all, Arthur Fist, very funny. We have Goku gritting his fist, which is pretty cool. Obviously, this very nice shot of Goku standing there. I love this. Again, very Dragon Ball-esque, right? The style looks perfect. And then, of course, we have Goku pulling his belt. He does look a little scrawny here, but obviously this is a little bit more, well, I mean, scrawny maybe compared to modern Goku, because, like, he still looks jacked. But obviously, this is very much so like Teen Goku's aesthetic in terms of how he looked in this era, which is really cool. And I think that these animations definitely do a very good job of capturing that era of Goku with how his body type looked. So I think that that is pretty cool. Obviously, we have Goku talking for his intro animation here. And then, of course, we have the funny pull of the belt, right, which is pretty cool. And then we cut to the okay, so this part right here, right? Goku talking obviously looks really, really cool. And then we have the background appear behind Goku, of course, the very anime-esque, super crazy lines in the background, zooming into Goku's face for this very cool expression. And I gotta say, I know that they do this a lot when it comes to units that have a little bit of duality, but this is pretty cool. They have a couple of establishing shots of Goku, obviously the beginning, a little bit different than Piccolo's for sure, but both Goku and Piccolo doing this similar same sort of motif where they have their face kind of in this sort of like range, right, where they have like their chest and their head in the frame, and then they basically have them zoom in with the anime background coming in until they zoom in their face. Really cool that both Goku and Piccolo have that as kind of a parallel to each other in their animations. I quite like that a lot. Very, very nice looking. Very simple for an intro, but obviously the whole point of an intro is literally just the character standing there talking, introducing themselves. So, I mean, you know, it works fine. I will say, this is really cool. Obviously, we got the Meteor combination for the super attack. The only thing that I think that is a little bit unfortunate about this is I did watch this recently, and there is actually a shot where they pan up to Goku having his fist out like this, but obviously, as you can see with the Dokkan version here, right, it is quite literally just Goku, you know, like basically zooming in on him, I guess, you know, as they fade in from black, right? I do kind of wish that instead they had it pan up, but again, that's kind of a nitpick. I think it's fine. We have Goku move his fist up a little bit here, and then close his mouth, which looks good. Obviously coming a little bit more into frame here, which looks very, very nice. Man, Goku's, oh, it just looks so good, dude. Holy cow, this is just such a nice shot here. Anyhow, we have the card art transition in immediately, which is really cool. And this is nice as well. This is obviously just a different angle of the shot that we just saw. That is pretty cool because obviously, as far as I'm aware, we've only ever seen this shot from like this angle. So it's kind of cool to see it from this alternate angle with the card art there. I quite like that a lot. But anyhow, moving past the card art there, we have Goku Scream, right? Which looks really, really good. I love my man powering up. Look how wide he looks again. Very Dragon Ball-esque art style at play here. I will say his arms moving do look a little bit weird, right? Like they look fine there. But then, ooh, you know, that sudden jump definitely kind of catches your attention a little bit, I feel like. And then obviously going from this to this, especially definitely makes you go like, oh, hey there, calm down a little bit. But this, nonetheless, his arm shaking looks really good. Obviously the Obi belt also flowing there. Very nice close-up shot of Goku. I will say that expression change, I think it looks a lot better in the regular speed, but it is definitely a little bit jarring going from this and having his head lift up slightly to then, of course, being here already, right? You know what I mean? But still, this shot looks good. Again, very, very nice looking. Just the asset looks great. Goku readying up on the ground. This shot also looks great here. And then, of course, getting ready to sprint forward. The run looks extremely goofy, but goofy in the perfect kind of way. Because this looks exactly how this run should look, right? From when he runs forward at Piccolo. And I also love the perspective here. They do a fantastic job of actually making you feel like Goku is running towards the screen, right? I think that looks fantastic, if I do say so myself. Very, very nice. Definitely love the way that that looks. So good. They did such a good job on that run for sure. And then, of course, we have Goku jump up. I will say this is a little bit unfortunate. We have Goku jump up, and then it is basically a remake of that art from that one World Tournament card of Goku, which is obviously supposed to be the scene. But, I mean, to be fair, it's the same scene. So, of course, the art is going to look like that because that's how it looks in the manga and the anime. But it is basically just a static PNG that moves forward. Nothing about Goku kind of moves here. I mean, this shot does go by pretty quickly. So it's kind of hard to notice that, but it does just become a little bit of a static PNG, which is kind of unfortunate that they don't have at least his hair kind of flowing in the wind a little bit. But nonetheless, oh my gosh, look how the perspective here is so weird with how Piccolo's head looks. What is wrong with his legs? Oh no, his legs are just spread. I see. I thought that they were like cut off. I think this is the asset that they use when a character smashes against the screen. That's why his head looks so big, but I feel like they definitely could have made this display a little smaller for this shot because his head looks incredibly big there. Again, also, by the way, we're going to see this with Piccolo a little bit later too, but with this particular sprite, this is something I talked a little bit about in the Piccolo video as well. It is very interesting to me. With these modern Dokkan sprites, they're becoming higher quality but more pixelated. It's kind of interesting because back in the day they were a little bit more blurry, right? But they were still very pixelated. But as you can see, this looks like a high quality sprite, but it's still very pixelated in the way that like you can physically see the pixels, right? You can see the cubes in this, and that is just a result of Dokkan's game engine being so old that when they upscale these assets, they kind of end up looking like this sometimes when they're really small at their base. So it's cool to see that they're still trying to upgrade it, even though obviously, you know, it is an old game, but it does kind of result in stuff like this sometimes. Anyhow, very nice impact frame. Obviously, this shot of Goku looks great. I love the little bit of movement that they got on my man. And it's cool that they bothered to implement this little part at the end here, right? Where obviously his shoulder is up and then it kind of moves down, right? You can see his teeth also clenching with that. And then we have this fantastic kick section. This looks great with the kick going bop, 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 right? That part looks fantastic. Definitely no complaints from me. I think that looks super smooth. It looks very, very nice. And then we have Goku charge forward, right? With the famous uppercut. Of course, this scene is very iconic from this fight. That looks great if I do say so myself. And I will say, I think normally I would say that a shot like this might look a little bit choppy, right? Because you can see, right? Let's watch that one time again in the slow speed, right? Not the kick part. The kick looks fun. But with here, right, you can see it's basically 1 pose, 2 pose, 3 pose, right? For him then giving the uppercut. And then it's kind of the same. It's 1 pose into the actual uppercut itself. However, I think in full-time speed, this actually works pretty well. It seems like they're getting better about jumping the poses and making them look a little bit more fluid, because that just looks like Goku giving a rapid punch when it's in the actual, like, you know, full-time speed, of course. So it's good to see that they're kind of learning how to use those sudden, like, cuts, right, in the characters' poses to their advantage to make them look a lot better. Or some older Dokkan essays that we've looked at before even kind of have these random pose changes and they sort of just look a little bit out of place. Like, those look in place how they should, which is very, very cool. Okay, so then we move back here, right? Obviously having Goku fly up towards the sky to do the Kamehameha. This shot looks great. I love that they also have Goku's hair moving here. This whole shot, dude, look at this. Look at this, bro. Oh my gosh. This looks fantastic, if I do say so myself. This entire shot of Goku shooting the Kamehameha downward looks great. I really, really like this. Goku's entire look throughout this whole part looks great, right? Him pulling back the Kamehameha. I do kind of wish, I will say, that certainly once he gets here, right, it's a little bit more than just, oops, we're typing dots into the search bar, my bad. Not even going to question what just appeared there. Anyway, we have this, right, where he immediately brings his hands back and then really far back. I do kind of wish they had a little bit more movement on that. But once we actually get to the zoomed in shot, right, the Kamehameha forming looks good. This particular zoom in looks so nice here, ladies and gentlemen. Holy, look at that. That looks absolutely fantastic, if I do say so myself. Really, really cool shot there for sure. And even from the back, this looks like a amazing look. I love the lines that they have on Goku and the light kind of glowing off of him, right, as well. The Kamehameha ball also looking great, right? The beam flying down. These little lines, perfect to emphasize this beam, right? I feel like a lot of lesser Dokkan essays just don't include that and would just have this being a line flying down towards the ground. Love the little bit of the line work on the Kamehameha. This effect looks really, really cool here. And then, of course, we have it crash into the ground with the ground exploding around Piccolo. Looks very, very nice there for sure. Okay, so we can actually skip this. And ironically enough, I guess, before we skip this, sorry, I literally just had like a... I turned into Friday Night Funk in there for a second, bro. Sorry. This is a good example, right, of what I'm talking about with these sprites. You can see that this is obviously an older sprite for Piccolo, right, when he does this attack. When he does the explosion, right? This is obviously a little bit of a different asset, right? But I think this sprite right here will be a good representation of what I'm talking about, right? Obviously, when you're looking at this particular sprite, you can see how blurry this is, right? It looks very pixelated. It looks very low quality. And even though it does look a little bit blurry, right, you can't see the details as much because everything is kind of blurred out. But if we go back to the sprite, where was that? I think it's right here when he's about to get punched. Yes. If we go back to right here, right, you can see that this sprite, even though it is a lot more pixelated, it looks a lot more high quality than this sprite for sure. This one looks a lot more blurry. And obviously the pixels look a lot more blurred. So I just think it's kind of interesting how they're trying to make them look a little bit high quality, but it kind of ends up making them look less quality, if that makes sense, even though that's not really true, but it just ends up looking more like pixel art than anything, I guess would be the good way to describe it. I just wanted to include that in the video because I don't have a video talking about Dokkan sprites, and, you know, it's in this video, so I may as well use it as an example. Anyway, skipping past this, obviously, we then have Goku's Negate, right, which is pretty cool, right? We have the cut in pop in here, and of course we have Goku then block the ki blast, which this shot looks really good. Love the way that this looks. The zoom in is fantastic there. Goku moving his foot back looks great to ready himself to block the attack. Perfect use of the pose change there too. And of course the blast engulfing Goku. Love the way that this is stylized, by the way, with obviously the light sort of enveloping Goku. And again, very Dragon Ball-esque with the way that the hair is drawn for a shot like this. Looks really, really cool. And then, of course, we have Goku standing there, having blocked the attack. Looks great. And, of course, the cheeky smile on his face. You gotta love this, bro. I love this little cheeky smile. It's so good, dude. But yeah, very nice, very simple animation for the Negate. It just looks really, really good if I do say so myself. Okay, so now we have the standby skill. This unit's very interesting because it works how the GTLR does for the 8th anniversary, where it's a standby revival skill. So we have Goku groveling on the ground, struggling to get himself up. This looks like a very, very nice shot. And then, of course, we cut to Goku lifting himself up, right? I will say, before we actually get to that, there is one little shot that they do to kind of even give you a little bit more of, like, I guess I like to call it in these videos implied movement. Again, I don't think that's the actual name for the technique. But as you can see, right, at the very end of this, they kind of have Goku lift himself up a little bit more. So it makes it kind of connect in your brain a little bit more, like, oh, okay, he's lifting himself up. So then when you get to this shot of him raising himself on his knee, it kind of makes more sense in your brain transitioning between that. But these shots all look great. Obviously, Goku very tuckered out and lifting himself to his feet. And of course, a very iconic shot right here of Goku breathing heavily, holding his arm, pulling a Vegeta, actually. And this looks great, right? The breathing looks fantastic on Goku. The background looks great. The ground looks very, very good. That cut, I think, is well used because it is also not only anime accurate, I'm pretty sure, but also just, you know, the kind of desperation that Goku is feeling right now. Very, very nicely well done. Then we have Piccolo's animation yet again, which is obviously, you know, just supposed to represent Goku dying, I guess, because obviously he gets the funny KO. And then, of course, we get to see the revival here, which looks very, very nice, ladies and gentlemen. Holy cow. Let's see this, bro. Flying down from the heavens. This looks great. I love the little bit of movement on Goku's body that actually makes it look like he's moving through the air rapidly, right? The speed lines, obviously. The hair looks fantastic, right? The comic effect is perfect, right? Goku then a little bit too, like twisting his body a little bit more as he's falling down from the heavens also looks great, right? Even this shot here where obviously you have the sprite looks really good. The perspective here on the ground looks great too. A little bit of rotoscoping on the ground to kind of make it feel like it has this 3D effect, like the camera's sort of spinning around the landscape. That's pretty cool. Oh, I didn't even notice that the Piccolo sprite protects himself. That's pretty cool. They also transition Goku, I think, a little bit here. I don't know, I guess he is like that the whole time. He's kind of at the same angle, right? As you can see, he gets closer. And this is really cool. The screen gets enveloped in white. They actually fade between. It's not a cut. God bless. It's so cool. And then Goku comes in out of the whiteness, bro, with the light shining on his face, giving a good old scream, and bam, clashing right into Piccolo. Dude, this shot right here with Goku coming out of the glow is so well done. I am genuinely so impressed at the way that that looks. Hello, Goku. It is just such a nice looking shot, dude. Oh, golly, bro. That is nice looking, if I do say so myself. They did a great job of the light also shining down on Goku's face, too. So cool, dude. It's so good. They did these animations so well. We then have Goku slam into Piccolo here. Obviously, the fade effects on Goku, of course, is because this is how it was in the anime. It's kind of like this slow motion effect, basically. You can also even see Goku's expression change here, right? He's kind of looking up a little bit, and then he braces his head for impact, closing his eyes, right? This entire sequence looks great. The electricity effects flashing on the screen look nice, right? Obviously, again, these fades are here because this is exactly how it was in the anime, right? With this kind of, again, sort of supposed to be like slow motion, dramatic sort of thing. You can also see, again, Goku's expression change where his teeth are now gritting, right? As he smacks Piccolo in the head, right? The background even changing colors a little bit here, too, which is pretty cool, right? Obviously, changing from blue to red. And red to blue. And then, of course, the close-up of Goku clashing against Piccolo, right? Piccolo then flying off into the distance, right? The enemy sprite making the rocks fly, which the rocks look really, really good. Goku crashing to the surface of the Earth with the Earth? Yeah, the Earth, which looks great. Obviously, again, having a little bit of recoil here, too, which actually makes it look like, you know, the impact is, like, actually happening, right? He kind of bounces a little bit as he hits the ground, which looks nice. And then we do, I don't know why they cut for this. I feel like they could have just kind of like pan the camera a little bit, but it's fine. And then we have Goku, of course, give the iconic smile at the end with this very nice little slow motion effect. That's why they have the kind of fade there, because again, for this part, it's still sort of in this like slow motion sequence here of Goku moving very, very slowly. But yeah, that is gonna do it for Goku's animations. Holy cow, ladies and gentlemen. They did such a good job on all of these. I think all of these animations, excuse me, from Goku to Piccolo look really, really fantastic. I think they're just so representative of the scene that they come from. They do these scenes so much justice, right? They are very much so the Dragon Ball style to a T. I don't even know if I can pick who's better for this one. Like, it might go to Piccolo, but that might just be because he has more animations to work with. Kinda, right? I don't know. It's a toss-up for me on this one. I don't know if I'll be able to decide. I think they're both really, really good. Goku's like just such iconic moments from this fight too really shine through at these animations. Obviously, of course, I think that it definitely has a couple of things that, of course, every Dokkan animation has things that it can be improved on, but I do feel like that Goku's were maybe a little bit more polished than Piccolo's in some areas. But I really, really like these. Definitely let me know what you think in the comment section below. I would be very curious to hear what you all have to think. Of course, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. And let me know if you guys are going to be summoning for these units. I think that these guys are easily some of my favorite animations of the year so far. I think that they definitely have the contender for some of the best animations for the year for sure. From everything that we've seen here, I absolutely think that they are up there with the best of them. And it's really cool to see these TURs as well, because I know, especially after Kale, your boy was a little, ooh. So I'm glad that we're back with it, bro. They were definitely cooking with this one. They were definitely saving their resources for Golden Week, so you love to see it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one. Dokkan Assets out. Peace.